Hello, welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. I'm Roadkill, and today we will be taking a flight from Seattle, Washington to Portland, Oregon. This is the 7th leg of our journey from Ketchikan, Alaska to Portland, Oregon, and the last leg of the journey. It's been a long flight and a lot of fun. I've been learning a lot about this Beechcraft 18 and just navigation altogether, and I'm glad you all have joined me along this journey. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell just so you can keep up to date with all my latest videos. I will have links of all the legs of this flight in the description below, so if you haven't seen the flight from the beginning, you can go back and check out each progressive video along the way as we flew. So with all that out of the way, let's get to flying. Okay, so I've taxied to the runway and we have clearance to take off, so I'm going to pull out here and get ready to start the last leg of our journey. Man, it's been such a fun trip, just flying through the bad weather and just figuring out how this aircraft works and everything, and the GPS and all that. So this has been a really educational journey for me on the way to Portland, Oregon. I've changed some settings on my OBS, so hopefully it looks better. I had my bitrate all wrong. I watched some videos to see if I can improve the quality of my videos. I'm on a very low-end PC that doesn't even meet the minimum requirements for this flight sim, so hopefully it looks a little better this time around. And I just realized I forgot to lock my tail wheel, which I just did right there, so hopefully I can get it under control to where I'm not gonna fly off the roadway and crash. Okay. Whew. That was kind of sketchy. I'm just hoping, like I said, I messed with the settings on OBS, so hopefully the picture quality is better and not so grainy. I'm just hoping I can do this flight without it freezing up on me. So we'll see. I am saving up for a better computer though, so hopefully in the near future I will have a better computer that can handle better computing power, so my videos will be better. So what we're doing now is we're just taking off out of Seattle. Let me take an outside view here. Last time we flew into here, it was bad weather. Seattle's back there. I was going to show you some of the landmarks here, but that didn't happen due to bad weather. Luckily, we have good weather today, and off to our left here is Mount Rainier. And over in that cloudy horizon is Mount St. Helens. And off to the left, Mount Hood, which we can't see because of the cloud cover. Okay, so if you've never flown in the Pacific Northwest, there is a lot to see here. The volcanoes, the Columbia River Gorge, which is awesome. If you fly down that, it's quite a spectacle to see. And that's just straight out of KPDX. You can fly straight down the gorge from there. In fact, the Columbia River flows right by KPDX, and if you fly down the Columbia River, you're golden. You got a lot of glacial cliff sides that you can take a look at. There's a landmass there called Beacon Rock, which is the core of a dead volcano. It's the lava that was at the core of the volcano, and it died and formed this rock formation, and then with the glacial melt off or whatever happened during the Younger Dryas, it washed away the dirt around that volcano, and all that's left is this molten lava rock core out in the open. And if you ever what is that vampire movie that all the girls like back in 2000? It was I can't remember, but it was like this love story where this vampire falls in love with this girl, and he doesn't want to eat her because he loves her, but he really wants to suck her blood, but it's like this stupid whatever. I'm sorry if you like the movies. If you're a woman, girl, or a guy that likes the movies, I'm apologizing for trashing on it. I thought they were stupid. But anyways, that rock formation is there in that movie, and they filmed around that area. So yeah, there's a little history and rant for you. Just came to the top of my head. Wasn't anything important, but yeah, I'm ranting on. Look at that. That's Mount St. Helens. You see where that snow line is? That is the blast area. All the trees in that area got wiped out, and if you go there, it looks like somebody took a comb or a hairbrush and brushed them down like a giant. Brushed all the trees down, and they all lie in line and uniform like strands of hair that have been brushed. It's really crazy to see. Back one day, I'd like to do a video where we fly over and take a look. Maybe once I figure out helicopters in this game, we'll do that, because that would be a perfect area to fly a helicopter and do some sightseeing. In fact, I've tried the new helicopters that came out and the new update for the 40-year anniversary, and I can't control them. I don't know what happens. I hit the throttle and it lifts up, and it flips over upside down and lands on the rotors. So I've got to learn how to fly those, because that area there is an awesome area. Beautiful. Breathtaking. Right here, down below us here, let me get out. That is all mud flow from Mount St. Helens. When it blew, the whole mountainside washed down. Down there you can see the debris. And when it happened, it was full of logs and rocks and trees. It almost looks like, you see that area there? It almost looks like there was an airstrip there at one point, or maybe power lines, but it wiped that out. Very, very destructive force there that came out of that side of the mountain. In fact, right there is where the whole mountainside blew out. That is all the mountainside that blew out into that area. And I think the pyroclastic flow, if I remember correctly, was 60,000 degrees. So anything in its path got roasted and just blasted. When I was 3 years old, and this dates me and gives you my exact age, I watched Mount St. Helens blow from a neighbor's porch in Portland, Oregon. And I was the first one to see it. I pointed it out, and I'm like, what's that cloud up there? And my parents like, oh, Mount St. Helens just erupted. And that was my first natural disaster that I remember as a kid, because I saw it firsthand, and we got coated in ash. The ash fell from the sky like snow onto the streets, and the cars driving by would kick up the dust, and it was harmful to breathe in and harmful for the vehicles. So we had to wear the masks like we wore during COVID, so that we didn't breathe in the dust. And daily, twice a day, I think we were instructed to take our garden hoses and spray down the sidewalks and the streets. So everybody in Portland, Oregon was outside spraying down the streets with their hoses to keep the dust from being kicked up, and we'd have to sweep and vacuum our living rooms daily and nightly for the longest time until the dust and ash settled. So it was quite an event. I mean, look at that blast zone there behind me. All that white there you see is the blast zone. That's where that side of the mountain hit, and the pyroclastic flowed from that mountain. Pretty crazy. In fact, it used to look kind of like Rainier there back there, and it blew up. Quite an experience. Okay, off to the left there, that is Mount Adams. That's another volcano. I don't know much about Mount Adams other than that's Mount Adams. Also, a little known fact about Portland, Oregon is there is a dormant volcano in southeast Portland, Oregon, with neighborhoods built around it. In fact, that's where I lived as a child. Southeast Portland, right at the base of that volcano. And it's actually a park. It's called Mount Tabor Park. Mount Tabor is the name of the volcano, and you can drive up the mountain and then park right in the crater. They have a parking lot in the crater of the volcano that's dormant. Just insane. It's probably about the size of what we're looking at right there. It's like a little hill there that you're looking at. And it has Portland built around it. In fact, Portland's main water source, the reservoirs, are at the base of Mount Tabor. So that's sketchy if that ever goes. And you know how unpredictable volcanoes are. They could just wake up and go crazy. It could take all of Portland out. Okay, we are now on our final approach to KPDX. I am going to cut off the autopilot here and get ready to land. Turn on the landing lights, put our mixture to full, props to full. I'm gonna start dropping in altitude here. Some flaps down. Get ready to land. So off there to our left is Mount Hood. And it's directly ahead of us. That river is the Columbia River. And KPDX is just following the edge of the Columbia River there. At least the south side of the Columbia River. We're flying over Vancouver, Washington. There, and Portland's just on the other side of the Columbia River there. You can't really see it due to the haze, but we are flying directly towards Portland. We'll be flying over Fort Vancouver, which is an old fort built by fur traders back in the 1800s. And for some reason the name of that fur trading company is not coming to mind, and I feel like a dummy because I can't remember. They made beaver hats up north in Canada, Montana, Idaho, and Oregon, I believe. And I can't remember what the name of it is, but they built the fort. Let's see if I can find it here. It's right by a runway. In fact, I might just fly over. Okay, it's right down below us here. Yeah, I am going to fly directly above it. I believe. I'm assuming that fort was built here due to strategic location to the river. It was right upon the Columbia River where you could access many different places. Where is Fort Vancouver? Am I not seeing it? Where is it? Should be here. Should be here. It's right by the airport. Where did Fort Vancouver go? Did I fly over it already? Where'd it go? I'm looking. Oh, there it is right there. You see that down there? That's Fort Vancouver, that little rectangle. Right there, that's Fort Vancouver. That's where it is. Okay, I should probably pay attention now. I'm not. Alright, so we are going to just land here so I don't have to do a long fly around. I'm supposed to fly around and land to the left, and I'm going against everything I usually do, but to keep the video short and sweet, I'm going to land here at KPDX. And what a better day to land. It's beautiful. It's clear. You can see what's going on. See the marinas down below that aren't very well modeled. They look like little, well, I guess those are houseboats, but yeah, not very good modeling there. In fact, I would say there's no modeling there. This, by the way, is a payware airport that I bought. And I think I paid, it's like $10 for it. It was on sale. But it's very, very well done. Looks just like the real deal. Look at that. Look at this nice smooth landing. I've got so much runway I don't have to worry about plopping her down real quick. Alright. We have made it to our destination. How cool is that? We finally made it. Portland, Oregon. We are here. From Ketchikan, Alaska to Portland, Oregon in the Beechcraft 18. We have made it alive and well on a beautiful sunny day, and I'm just going to taxi over this way, I guess. I'm just going to go for it. Just going to drive. Listen to those planes getting ready to take off and take their people to where they're going. Yeah, very, very cool airport. Mainly because it was the airport I grew up with as a kid. This is where I grew up. And it's very nostalgic for me. In fact, I saw Muhammad Ali in this airport when I was 3. I almost ran into his knee. He was so big. He was like the biggest person I ever saw when I was a kid. Scared the hell out of me. It was like this giant. I've never seen a giant before, but he was a giant. And my mom grabbed me, and she's all apologetic. And being a little 3-year-old kid, I didn't know who he was. He was just huge, like the biggest human I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, kind of scared me, to be honest. My mom was all, "Oh, it's the king, it's the king." I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? Now I know who he is, and I'm like, wow. That was a once-in-a-lifetime ordeal. Anyways, we're here at KPDX, and I'm just rambling on. I'm happy to be at the end of our flight, but also sad. Ah! Because it's the end of our flight. Man, we went from Ketchikan to Portland, Oregon. And yeah, now I got to figure out where else we're going to fly and what are we going to fly in. What are we going to fly in? I'm half tempted to fly the new DC-3 that just came out. Why? Because it's an awesome airplane, but I have to learn a whole new navigation system, which intimidates me. That wasn't a beautiful parking job, I know, but it is what it is. This whole trip has been an experience. So, yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for tagging along. Have a great week or weekend, whatever's ahead of you. Stay safe and Godspeed.